Let's get to this powerful remix by the talented Habstrakt. Today I'm going to show you 3 tips about this great song and then you can use them in your own productions. Now let's get to the first section of this tutorial. Guys, as in most of my tutorials, the oscillators are very simple here again. There are just 2 subwaves with a little bit of trick in Serum, and then there are so many tricks and techniques about mixing and processing those 2 subwaves. First, let's take a listen to the solo of this synth sound. In Serum, as I told you just very simply, I have chosen subwave table. The first one is 1 octave lower and I have made it harder with the help of SYNTH knob right here. And for the second oscillator, the octave is at 0, the default, and I have added 5 voices of unison. And one very important trick that I'm hearing in a lot of Skrillex music, a lot of Habstrakt music, and a lot of virtual rate music is that they play with the fine tune of the wavetable. And this trick right here, instead of 0, it is on -30, and it is giving the sound an important character that sets it apart from the ordinary sounds that we hear in everyday music. And here I have added some noise from the analog section. This is a white noise, not a white noise. And in the FX section, very simply, I have added OTT, and then I have added a very hard distortion, diode number 2, drive to the max, mix to the max. And now let's get to the processing, which is very important, and it has made the sound so powerful. Guys, right here, let's take a listen to the sound without all the processing. They have made the sound very hard. Now let's see what's going on here. First, I have added erosion white noise around 4 kHz. Then I have added overdrive, and it wasn't enough. I have added another overdrive, another one, 3 overdrives in a row, and then I have cut the low end because I wanted to add a separate sub and mid frequency to the sound with this layer right here. Then the trusty OTT right here. After the OTT, I just needed to cut more low end from the sound and then more distortion with the British clean preset of Camel Crusher. It is a very clean preset and I always have a lot of control over this preset. It is a very good one for a simple distortion without changing the character of your sound. And here some EQing, taking out resonances from the sound. And right here with this lovely plugin, Ozone Exciter, I have added saturation to this area of the sound. It is from 1000 to 3K with the Triad preset, and a lot of amount of it is added to the sound. Let's see the difference. This is without the Ozone Exciter. This is with. And absolutely it is making the sound much thicker. After that I have added saturation clipper right here, and that's it guys for the synth sound. And there is this second layer. This is sub and the mid bass of the sound. Let's take a listen to the solo of this. This is filling the frequencies that we removed from this sound, around 300 Hz and below. The layers are playing an important role right here, but the sound design is fairly simple in Serum. First, let's take a listen to the solo of this sound. This sound has 3 layers. They are very simple. The first one is a tag sound, which is playing certain notes of this sound, and it is accentuating the space. This is a top kick, this is a sub, and this is the mid frequency bass. And the sound design of this bass, it is a saw wave with 7 voices of unison, and then I have decreased the side deformation with the utility tool to make it mono with a little bit of stereo imaging. This is very important for the depths of the sound, and there is nothing in the FX, OTT, distortion, tube distortion, and then the filter right here with this envelope. And there is one interesting thing in this drop that Habstrakt has done, and it is pitch bending this sound by -1 semitones in the drop with this automation. This is a very creative and interesting thing to do in your drum. And in the processing, I have monoed the sound, so we just have the effect of those 7 voices of unison. And then I have added 2 overdrives. These are my lovely distortions. Then I have added transient master, and I wanted to make this sound more punchy, so I decreased the sustain of this sound by minus 38% right here. And then I have added some reverb, very short reverb by 46 milliseconds of decay, and this is adding a little bit of a stereo image and a little bit of depth to this bass sound. But here I just wanted the effect, not the stereo image. So after this reverb, I have monoed the sound again to get rid of the side informations. Then I added OTT right here. Then I saturated and clipped the sound. And here this EQ is very important. I have taken out the bodies and I have added around 500 Hz. This is adding a lot of power to this bass sound by 3 dBs. After that, I wanted to saturate this sound again with ozone exciter right here, and this is the area that I had boosted with EQ, but it wasn't enough power, so I added some triad distortion to this bass sound with this amount. And after that, I wanted to compress that area a little bit more for more punch and more consistency. So I added FabFilter multiband compression, and I compressed this sound around this area. This is from 350 to 1K. And that's it, guys. Most of the processing is done. After that, a little bit of EQ right here, very subtle changes to the sound. And after that, a very little stereo image to this sound at the end of the chain. This is from around 200 and above. I have added a little bit of stereo image with 6 milliseconds of delay between the left and right channels. If you have found this video useful so far, please consider liking, subscribing and hitting the notification bell. Thank you, friends. So many details are happening in the drum section to keep the groove going. And in this song, like so many of the Habstrakt songs, there is an interesting pattern of question and answer happening in the drum. And the drums are playing an important role right here to make this pattern happen. First, let's take a listen to the solo of this drum group. Perfect. Guys, there are so many layers in these drums to make them so groovy. The first one in the top drums is this simple open hi-hat. And then this layer, let me loop this section first. And then this layer of more complex hi-hat are completing this first hat. And together, perfect. And then this third layer is a drum loop which I have layered with these top drums right here, and this is adding the complexity and depths to these top drums that I want. And usually most of the times, guys, after I program my drums, I add a more complex and quality top drum layer to my sounds to make them complete as they should be. And the solo of this layer is this. And with my top drums, a perfect groove. Wow, perfect. And then there is this crash right here with a very weird envelope that Habstrakt has done. This is like a big side chain at the start of this crash. Without the envelope at the start of the crash, it would be like this. And with the kick, this is a very interesting groove, and this is absolutely one of the Habstrakt's characteristics in arrangement and drum grooves that he adds to his songs. And then there is the clap, guys. I made this clap with 2 layers. The first layer is a noise clap. I have cut this sound around here. I have removed the attack right here, and this is just the noise of the clap. This is very short, and after that, this clap lacked the attack it needed, so I added this attack clap right here. And by the way, these are very short claps, and together they sound like this. And with the whole groove, Perfect. And guys, Habstrakt always uses some distorted percussions in his grooves, like these percussions. And these are perfect for accentuating your drum grooves with the synths that is playing on top of the grooves. Let me increase the volume. Perfect. And one another thing, guys, about this drum groove is the pattern of question and answer that I told you. Look, guys, this is the start of the drop. With just one kick, it starts. You can consider this section as a question. The synths and the bass are asking a question, and here I have flagged the answer, and the answer is... and then the question again. And here Habstrakt have done some very smart moves. Let's take a listen again to the drums and pay attention what happens in the question part and what happens in the answer part. Let's play. This is the question. Now the answer. Question. And guys, if you pay close attention, the high end of the top drums and cymbals are decreased with a low pass right here. And they are making the beat and drop very dark in the answer section. And in the question part, again, all the high end is added to the top drums again. And it gives the energy that the question needs. And right here, you see I have added this low pass filter right here, and it turns on in the answer section. For example, let's take a listen to the solo of this hi-hat. This is the question section. The answer section, it gets dark. Or for example, this layer, this shaker, again, I have added some low pass to this sound to make it darker. Without the low pass, yeah, we don't want that. And that's it, guys, for the drum section of this song. Thanks for watching, friends. If you have any questions about the tips that we talked about today, just ask me in the comments, and I love you so much. Bye.
It's like